Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds have had this weird, one-sided rivalry brewing for almost a decade, and this year it reached a boiling point. When Kevin Feige unveiled Gosling as the next Ghost Rider on stage at San Diego Comic-Con, cameras caught Reynolds in the crowd, and within hours, clips were circulating online claiming his reaction wasn't celebration, it was something closer to jealousy. Within a day, the theory had a name attached to it and a timeline stretching all the way back to a decade-old awards show moment everyone suddenly remembered at once. So, did Ryan Reynolds actually take a shot at Gosling's Ghost Rider casting, or is the internet reading a joke, or maybe nothing at all, as an attack? Let's go through what's actually confirmed versus what's just theory built on top of it. Here's what's documented. Gosling stood in Hall H as Feige revealed him as the studio's pick to play Ghost Rider, a role he's reportedly been chasing since at least 2022. According to reporting from the event, he didn't just get handed the part, he came to Marvel with a specific vision pulled from the comics, something Feige himself confirmed, saying Gosling arrived already knowing exactly what he wanted to do with the character. Reynolds was there too, and multiple accounts of the panel describe him cheering Gosling on, still dressed as Deadpool from his own segment earlier in the show. That's the confirmed part. Everything past it is where online commentary starts filling gaps with theories about jealousy, rivalry, and revenge. And it's worth separating those two things clearly as we go. Some of that theory is fueled by a mix-up that's been going for years now. Fans and outlets constantly confusing the two Ryans in interviews, headlines, and viral tweets, usually played for laughs rather than treated as anything serious.
I don't know, Ryan Reynolds was wearing a shirt with your face on it in that Deadpool 3 trailer. What was your reaction to that?
I mean, I just want my shirt back.
Reynolds has leaned into the joke publicly himself, referencing it in interviews and online more than once. But some commenters online argue that every time the confusion goes viral, it benefits Reynolds more than Gosling, since it puts his name next to an actor with a very different critical reputation, one built on prestige dramas rather than franchise comedy.
Did Ryan do this? Is Ryan just not happy with the fact that they didn't announce him in the cast list? So he's out there spoiling the movie?
That's a theory people keep repeating. Not a confirmed strategy, but it's part of the backdrop that made this year's Comic-Con moment land the way it did. Then there's the 2017 Golden Globes, and this part is real and well documented. Gosling and Reynolds were nominated in the same category that year. Gosling for La La Land, Reynolds for Deadpool. Gosling won. As he made his way to the stage, Reynolds, seated near Andrew Garfield, kissed him. Not a quick bit, a prolonged, full-on kiss that instantly became the story of the night while Blake Lively laughed along beside them. That clip has resurfaced online again and again over the years, usually with the same caption, that the internet remembers the kiss more than the win. Garfield has since said the two of them planned some kind of bit in advance, and that looking back, it landed a little insensitively given the timing. He didn't accuse Reynolds of deliberate sabotage, and he's the only person from that stage who's actually gone on record about what happened.
It's getting out of hand. Ryan, obviously there's been some kind of mistake, but I'm up here, so if you don't mind, okay.
There's also no verified record of Reynolds ever apologizing or refusing to. That detail gets added on top of the facts every time this resurfaces, usually stated as though it were confirmed when it isn't. What we do know for certain is that the moment dominated headlines the next morning more than Gosling's actual win did, and that gap between what should have been the story and what actually became the story is a big part of why people still bring it up nearly a decade later. Now to this year's clip itself. Footage circulating on TikTok and X from the Hall H panel has been recut and captioned multiple ways, some framing Reynolds' expression as tense or forced, others reading the exact same frame as him just being his usual theatrical self on camera. Reddit threads have picked apart his body language second by second, freeze-framing his applause and debating whether a particular pause meant something, the same way fans previously dissected Gosling's own careful non-answers about the role months earlier. It's the kind of frame-by-frame scrutiny that tends to show up around any big Marvel reveal, less a sign of what Reynolds was actually feeling than a sign of how invested people already were in this rivalry before the panel even started. Without a direct, on-record comment from Reynolds actually targeting Gosling or the casting, this stays firmly in alleged territory.
You know, this is a character I've wanted to play for a very long time. So, Kevin, Josh Hartwitz, Paul H., thank you.
No outlet has published a real quote of him criticizing the role. What holds up better is the Shawn Levy connection. Levy directed Reynolds in Free Guy, The Atom Project, and Deadpool and Wolverine, building a genuinely close creative partnership over those projects, close enough that Levy is often described as one of the few directors who understands exactly what Reynolds is going for on screen. He also directed Gosling in Star Wars, Starfighter, and multiple reports say the two clicked enough on that shoot that Levy is now attached to direct Gosling's Ghost Rider movie as well, with Levy himself describing the two of them riffing together on set before deciding to keep working together. That's not evidence of Levy picking sides. Directors move between actors constantly, and there's no indication from anyone involved that this reflects a falling out. But online, some fans have taken that timeline and built it into a story about Reynolds losing his most reliable collaborator right as Gosling's career peaks, speculation stacked on a real fact. There's also the running argument that Reynolds is simply overexposed right now, which shows up in comment sections under nearly every story about him and occasionally gets pulled into this theory too. The idea that crowding Gosling's spotlight fits a broader pattern of Reynolds needing to stay visible. Some of the underlying claim is measurable. Through maximum effort, he's built a massive footprint across advertising, his Wrexham ownership, and constant social media, a strategy he's actually discussed openly for years rather than something that snuck up on him. Whether that saturation becomes a liability for Deadpool 4 is genuinely up for debate. Some commentary online has speculated about franchise fatigue hurting the film's box office, pointing to the general glut of superhero releases over the past few years, and arguing audiences are simply tired of the formula, whoever's wearing the suit. Others push back hard on that read, pointing out that Deadpool and Wolverine was a massive hit just 2 years ago, arguably one of the biggest comic book releases of that entire year, and that Reynolds still pulls a huge built-in audience regardless of critical opinion. His fans tend to show up for the character specifically, not for prestige reviews, and that pattern has held for 3 movies running now. Specific flop. Projections for Deadpool 4 haven't been independently confirmed by any studio, tracking service, or trade outlet at this point. They're circulating mostly as opinion posts and reaction videos, so treat that talk as speculation, not settled fact, at least until actual numbers exist to look at. Worth noting, too, Gosling's own public behavior doesn't really support the quiet, wounded rival framing that's popular online. He's made lighthearted jokes about the Ryan mix-up himself on multiple press tours now, including a comment about being glad one half of his household finally got to be part of the Ghost Rider franchise, a nod to his partner Eva Mendes having starred in the original 2007 film opposite Nicolas Cage. He's also talked openly about the years of discussions with Marvel before the role became official, describing the whole process as something he approached with genuine excitement rather than any sense of rivalry with anyone else attached to the franchise. That's a pretty different tone than someone avoiding a subject out of resentment or treating a rival's presence as an intrusion. It reads more like 2 guys who are fully aware of the internet's obsession with comparing them and who are each, in their own way, willing to play along with the bit rather than treat it as an actual grievance worth addressing directly. If there really were tension here, It's a little strange that the person supposedly on the receiving end of it keeps bringing the whole thing up himself, with a smile instead of dodging it. It's also worth asking why this particular theory took off as fast as it did. Part of it is just timing. The Ghost Rider reveal was one of the biggest moments to come out of that entire Comic-Con weekend, and any strong reaction from a recognizable face in the crowd was always going to get clipped, captioned, and pushed through every algorithm built to reward exactly that kind of ambiguity. A tense expression reads very differently depending on the 3 words someone puts underneath it. And once one popular account frames a moment as a shot, every reaction video and comment section afterward tends to build on that same premise rather than question it. That's not unique to Reynolds or Gosling, it's just how these stories move online now. The first framing usually wins, regardless of whether it's the most accurate one. So, did Reynolds really take a shot at Ghost Rider? Based on the record, there's no confirmed quote of him criticizing the role, the casting, or Gosling directly. Not at Comic-Con, not since. What exists is a documented appearance where he was seen supporting the announcement, a decade-old, very real Golden Globes moment that keeps getting reframed with new motives every time it resurfaces, and a fresh wave of interpretation built on body language and old grievances rather than anything Reynolds has actually said. That doesn't make the theory baseless. Internet audiences have read subtext correctly before, and if an actual quote or statement does surface later, this is exactly the kind of story that could flip fast. But right now, alleged is carrying the whole headline, and until something concrete backs it up, this looks a lot more like a story built around 2 famous men sharing a first name than a confirmed feud. One that says as much about how quickly a single clipped reaction can snowball online as it does about anything that actually happened between the 2 of them. What do you think? Is there something real behind this? Or is this just the internet doing what it always does with 2 celebrities who happen to share a name? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If this one kept you hooked, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Clout Fallout so you don't miss the next update on this story.